Hi everybody, welcome to today's reading lesson. Today's learning challenge is I can answer questions about a text. We are going to read some of the story of the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and then we're going to answer some true or false questions. I am going to read the story for you now. We're not quite reading all the way to the end, but we are reading a little bit more today. The true story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way that we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbour for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbour was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. Now, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbour's house. This neighbour was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Ding dong! Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, Go away, wolf! You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin. How rude. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail, wolf's honour. Right, we're going to leave it there. We have read some of the story and now we are going to answer some questions. If you've got an adult near you, or if you want to just think in your head, you can pause the video now and just have a think about what happened in that part of the story. What has happened in the story so far? Okay, so we're going to think about what happens, and we're also going to think about why some things happen. we are going to read some statements, and the statements might be true, they are correct, or false, they are not correct. And we have to read them really carefully, think about whether they are true or false, and then we're going to answer true or false. So your sheet is going to look like this for today. We're going to read them one at a time and then have a go at answering them. I'm going to go through the first two, I think, with you, and then leave you to do the rest on your own. So question number 1, we're going to read the statement and then circle true or false. The wolf was making a cake for his grandma. Well, if we have a look in the book, if we go back to the beginning, we're almost at the end. We can see that he says, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. So there's some evidence there. I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. That's not the sheet we want this one. So number 1, the wolf was making a cake for his grandma. Grandma is another word for granny. He said he was making a cake for his granny. So the wolf was making a cake for his grandma is definitely true. So for that one, I'm going to circle true. If you can't print out this sheet, that's absolutely fine. You can just write a number 1 and then put a T or write the word true next to it. So the wolf was making a cake for his grandma is definitely true. That's quite a nice, easy one. Number 2, the wolf was ill. True or false? Well, I know that ill means poorly or unwell, so I'm going to have a look in the text and see if it says anything about the wolf being poorly or unwell. I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. Oh, so he's sneezing and he has a terrible cold. So let's have a look back at the question. The wolf was ill. Well, he had a terrible cold. So yeah, that's a kind of ill, isn't it? So the wolf was ill. He had a terrible sneezing cold tells me that the answer to that one is also true. So I'm going to circle the word true. But if you can't print it out, then you can just write a number 2 and write a T or the word true next to it. Okay, I'm going to read the rest of these statements for you, and then I'm going to let you pause the video and have a go at working out whether each one is true or false. Some of them are trickier than others, so you have to be really careful when you're thinking about the statements. Number 3 says, the wolf ran out of milk, and you have to decide whether that's true or false. Number 4, the wolf went round to the pig's house because he wanted to eat him. True or false? Number 5, the pigs were very clever. True or false? Number 6, the wolf walked into the pig's house without asking. True or false? 7, the wolf knew the house would fall down. True or false? And number 8, the straw door fell down because the wolf knocked on it. The straw door fell down because the wolf knocked on it. And for all of those questions, you have to decide whether they're true or false. And have a listen to the text and decide whether they are true or false with a bit of help from the text. If you get onto the deeper learning, it says write your own true or false statement. So think about whether you want to write a sentence that is true or a sentence that is false. If you wanted to write a true one, you could write the wolf sneezed and the house fell down. Or the house fell down because the wolf sneezed. That would be a true statement. If you wanted to write a false statement, you could write the wolf's neighbour was an elephant, because that is false. So have a go at the deeper learning if you want to. I will try and put the text from the story up as well. So if you want to have a go at reading it yourself to find some evidence to answer those questions, you can do. So I will try and attach the text too. But you can also go back to this video and listen to me reading it again, whichever you'd prefer, whether you'd prefer to read it yourself or listen to me reading it again. See you tomorrow, year ones. Bye.